This is the only woman who has cuckolded Batman. She is the one who made Batman wear the green hat. She put on black silk stockings and looked at the little bat beside her affectionately. The man obediently brought a pair of high heels and dressed his wife in the most alluring clothes. But what's really mind-blowing is that she dressed her so sexily just to go on a date with another man. On the surface they are an extremely affectionate couple, however a huge rift occurred between them after having a child. In order to please his wife, Leo made an agreement with her that as long as she didn't abandon the family, she could do whatever she wanted outside. After entering the dance floor, Aria took off her coat voluntarily. Her sexy figure instantly became the focus of the whole room. But she directly ignored Leo. Instead, she started looking for her target of the day. This Blake is a net friend she had made an appointment with in advance. The two hugged. As soon as they met, Leo just stared at them like that. Although he was filled with jealousy, he didn't say a word, because once he dared to speak up, what he would get in return was only a divorce agreement. It was not until he saw the two of them sneak away that Leo quietly followed them, but the scene he saw almost made him transform into Batman on the spot. Even so, Leo still chose to endure. When Aria looked up, she didn't show any sign of restraining herself at all. In the face of his friend's inquiry, Leo could only say that they were very good friends. To be a man like this, only Batman can be considered unique in this regard. Unexpectedly, Aria became more and more excessive. She actually stood on the piano and started dancing some kind of folk dance. And Leo always stood beside her watching without making a scene. All his friends regarded him as a very tolerant husband, but no one exposed this relationship. Unexpectedly, Blake actually arrogantly found Leo go to. This is a blatant provocation. Even if he took off his battle suit, the gaze of Batman is not something that ordinary people can look directly at. It directly reminds me of the angry gaze of my significant other. I met him on 1010. He is gentle, good looking, and has a good temper. There are many young people who love watching dramas. On 1010 you can start chatting directly once you get on it. You don't have to worry about having no topics at all. If you also want to find a female companion, hurry up and give it a try. On 1010 Leo told him a story. A few days ago, a man named Caleb disappeared in the town. This is not just a simple danger, but a blatant intimidation. Looking at Leo's calm appearance, Blake almost soiled his diaper out of fear. He didn't want to stay here for another minute. Aria chased after him. When she saw him, Leo also appeared quietly, looking at the thing across the way. Even if I lent him my courage, he wouldn't dare to flirt with someone else's wife again. After coming out of the cocktail party, Aria asked the question that had been on her mind. Leo denied the matter of scaring Blake. The two of them were a bit sullen all the way, and they also had their own little thoughts. After getting home, Aria even kicked him out of the room. Leo prepared breakfast early the next morning. Aria always acts as if it's a matter of course. Even their daughter needs Leo to pick her up and drop her off, although Aria doesn't know how to cherish it. But with his handsome appearance, he can always attract the attention of the opposite sex. But Leo only likes the type of his wife. With nothing to do, he found two friends to chat with. The two of them were discussing Leo's actions last night. He once again denied that he had threatened Blake. But what happened yesterday quickly reached Aria's ears. She accused her husband of being a viper. He heard that his wife had invited Blake again. Leo decided it was time to do something. Soon it was time for the dinner gathering. He gave Blake a very warm reception. The wife and daughter were both busy preparing dinner, but Blake just sat there like a lord. At the dinner table, Aria put on a sexy camisole dress again. She kept scolding her husband for his faults. Blake also noticed that the atmosphere was a bit tense. Seeing the explosive conversation between the two, Blake made an excuse to go to the bathroom. Unexpectedly, Aria asked her daughter to go back to her room and sleep, and she also asked Leo to tell their daughter a bedtime story. Looking at his wife's provocative gaze, Leo obediently picked up the storybook until his daughter fell asleep. Then, he quietly walked out of the room, looking at the two people across the way who were going too far. He deliberately created the soundscape of a book in the kitchen. When Aria heard it, she rushed over. She didn't feel any shame. Instead, she asked Leo to clean it up tomorrow morning. She even poured a glass of wine and asked Leo to serve it to Blake, and she took the opportunity to go to the bathroom herself. The two men were left alone. Leo revealed his true nature again. Hearing Leo admit to killing someone again, Blake made an order again. Who can withstand such pressure? Blake could only slink away for the second time. The next day, the family of three went to a party. This old man is a writer. He wants to write the story of Caleb's disappearance into a novel. This naturally made the relationship between the two men full of gunpowder. Because Leo always cries wolf everywhere he goes, he says he killed Caleb. But this instead makes the people in the town think it's a joke. Only Oscar takes him as a real murderer. Leo glanced at him indifferently. When he heard that the surrounding residents all said it was a joke, this temporarily diffused the awkwardness. When the party started, Aria let herself go again. Her clothes were almost taken off directly. All the people's eyes were focused on her. Seeing this, Leo came up with an idea. He invited the woman next to him to dance. This scene was seen by Aria beside him. Seeing Leo showing his big white teeth happily, she seemed indifferent on the surface. In fact, her smile was gradually freezing. After the party ended, Aria couldn't hold back a bit. She took the initiative to start the conversation. The more calmly Leo answered, the more worried Aria became. This is selfish possessiveness. Only those in power can do wrongdoings, while the common people are not allowed to do the slightest thing. Finally, Aria couldn't hold back anymore. She took the initiative to sit in the driver's seat. She thought that after this night, the relationship between the two of them would gradually ease. But Leo suddenly received a debt collection call. The agent said last week's consumption exceeded the limit by $3,000, and this secondary card is in his wife's hand. The person who received the money is a private piano teacher, so he hurried to that place without delay. When he saw the appearance of the piano playman, Leo already understood everything. Obviously, his wife was still playing her hunting game, and at this moment Aria just happened to come over. She directly took off the suggestive coat. Seeing this, Leo let out a helpless sigh. The two of them kept exchanging flirtatious glances in the restaurant. He could only leave there angrily. After getting home, he even found the wedding ring that his wife had taken off. When Aria came back, it was already the early hours of the morning. But Leo put away all his anger. Looking at this drunk person, I really want to punch him to death. But Leo was still as gentle as before. However, this time his words carried a bit of a reminder. He told Aria the police had already found Caleb's body. But Leo didn't answer, and Aria seemed to have guessed something. The next day, when he was sending his daughter to school, he happened to see the piano playing man was walking towards his home with flowers. He felt that this man was even more difficult to deal with than Blake. Sure enough, it was just as he guessed. Just in this short moment, the flowers had already been placed in the house. Leo angrily threw them into the trash. He deliberately invited his friend to have a meal at this restaurant and took the opportunity to greet the piano playing man. After Hugo saw the man's appearance, he also became worried about Leo. Although his friend didn't break through this delicate situation, but how could Leo not know this was just leaving him with the last bit of dignity? Every time he's in a bad mood, he will play with the slime he raises. He really likes the feeling of being stalked by it. But his beloved wife just gave this feeling to someone else. This time Aria didn't come back for the whole night again. Leo couldn't hold back and started to question her. Leo could no longer tolerate this attitude and let out a roar. Upon hearing the word divorce, Leo was extremely angry. But Aria always knows how to manipulate the situation. She wanted to make up for her mistakes with her body. Unexpectedly, Leo refused this time. He even thought his head was hurting. Aria is as if she's a devil sent by heaven to torment him. I don't know what kind of mistakes Leo has ever made exactly that led to today's situation. The restless Aria held a pool party at home the next day and secretly invited the piano playing man. When Leo saw him for the first time, he was first stunned and then his expression turned to anger. He had thought that having a quarrel yesterday would make his wife be a bit more restrained. Unexpectedly, she introduced the new friend in front of everyone. Leo stared at the two of them intently like this. Watching his wife riding her body on the dance floor, he finally had the intention to kill. Aria also noticed the change in his expression. She used that invincible charm technique again. He was always so easily satisfied and showed a smile. It seemed that Aria was deliberately showing off every time she introduced all the new friends she had met to Leo. He seemed generous on the surface, but as soon as he turned around, he came outside with a melancholy face, staring intently at Aria frolicking with others in the swimming pool. At this moment, it suddenly started to rain heavily. Everyone ran towards the house. Only Leo was still sitting in the heavy rain, feeling confused all by himself. At this time, there were only the piano playing man and him left in the swimming pool. This scene was just seen by the writer Oscar. Leo looked around. After making sure that there was no one around, he finally revealed his murderous intent. 2 minutes later, he calmly returned to the house. Only Oscar could see that something was wrong with him, and the body of the piano playing man floated up in the swimming pool. Since Aria didn't see him appear for a long time, she walked out of the house. A group of people jumped into the swimming pool. They worked together to fish out the body, but the result was, even if he wasn't dead before, he would be killed by the fall now. Leo quickly ran over and gave him cardiopulmonary resuscitation. He acted as if he had nothing to do with it at all, but the piano playing man had already died completely. After that, the police came to investigate the matter. No one associated it with Leo, but his wife wasn't satisfied. No one believed that Leo had killed someone. After all, everyone was together at that time. Only Oscar was staring at him intently. At this time, the police also called Leo into the house. Leo's testimony had no problems at all, and everyone was drunk at that time. The difference of 1 or 2 minutes, everyone didn't take it to heart at all. In the end, the police could only conclude the case as death by drowning. After everyone left, Leo sat beside his wife. Leo's evil nature finally gradually revealed itself. It was indeed him who killed the piano-playing man at that time. But so what, he also killed the previous few people. But who could produce the evidence? On this day, while Leo was cycling, he suddenly found that someone was following him. He knew that this must be Oscar's idea. So he made an appointment to meet him because only Oscar in the whole town didn't like the sight of him. Leo hinted to him not to talk nonsense everywhere. The electric drill has no feelings. The next day, when he was walking on the street, he encountered the vehicle that was following him again. And his wife was in the restaurant next to it. The thing opposite claimed to be a psychologist. He wanted to open a clinic in this small town. Leo blurted out that he had a bit of schizophrenia. And he also asked him for a business card. But Finn fumbled around and couldn't take out anything. Leo already knew he was the owner of the car outside. Then he calmly left there. He went straight to Oscar's house. Oscar denied the fact of hiring a private detective, but Leo already had enough evidence. This was a bill of his wife's remittance to Oscar. Obviously, the two of them had colluded. They wanted to find out every move of Leo. After saying that he left there, Oscar's actions were rebuked by his wife. This made the old man hate Leo even more. But when he got home, he saw that his wife had made a new friend again. Leo completely lost hope in Aurea, but he still adjusted his mood and started taking care of them. The little girl asked him if he had drowned someone. Unexpectedly, Leo didn't hide it anymore. Perhaps only in front of his daughter could he let down all his defenses. When Aurea got home, she started making a phone call. Leo heard her plan to travel to Brazil. The next day, she even invited the man to her home. This man named Jasper turned out to be Aurea's first love. Leo obviously didn't look right after hearing that. The actions of the two of them became more and more excessive. They completely ignored him as if he were air. Watching them indulging outside, Leo played the role of a waiter until the two of them swaggered upstairs. He finally couldn't hold back and quietly followed them. When Aurea turned around, she also saw him. But this time Leo didn't take any action. Instead, he quietly backed out. She knew that Leo was really angry. She ended this party feeling a bit guilty. When Jasper was leaving, Leo drove and told him. He said that his wife had just been not feeling well, and now he wanted to take him to another dating place. Jasper was of course very happy, but Leo drove at full speed and came to a canyon. This scared Jasper out of his wits. He made an excuse to go to the bathroom and forced the car to stop. After getting out of the car, Leo picked up a stone. Jasper was directly smashed. There was no room for redemption at all. Leo dragged his body into the water. Then he stuffed a stone into his pants. Still not feeling at ease, he untied his belt and tied it to a larger stone, afraid that Jasper's identity would be exposed. He also took Jasper's wallet. Finally, he dragged the body into the deep water area. After finishing all this, Leo calmly walked back home. He acted as if nothing had happened. The first thing he did when he entered the door was to deliberately ask where Jasper had gone. This made Aurea a bit confused. She quickly picked up the phone and dialed, but the other side was always busy. On the contrary, Leo comfortably sipped his wine, although his daughter's interruption temporarily avoided further questioning. But Aurea suddenly said she wanted to go on a picnic, and the destination was the place where the incident occurred. Although Leo was a bit surprised, but thinking of the body at the bottom of the valley, he agreed to this suggestion. The two of them had a rare date. He also specially prepared a gift for Aurea. At this moment, his daughter suddenly ran towards the water surface. Leo could only chase after her. When he looked up, suddenly he saw the body floating up. This really scared him. He coaxed his wife back home on the pretext of work, but Aurea's scarf was left in the canyon. Leo said he would go back to get it later by himself, so he sent the two of them home. Then he rushed back without stopping. However, his wife, who stayed at home, found a wallet. This was exactly the one left by Jasper. He knew Jasper must have been killed just like the previous people. When Leo arrived at the canyon, he saw the body was still in the original position. He finally heaved a sigh of relief. He used a wooden stick to try to push the body into the water. Unexpectedly, Jasper, who came to do physical exercise, suddenly appeared. Unexpectedly, the old man suddenly raised the scarf. Leo stammered for a moment. At this time, Jasper also walked towards the bottom, but that body suddenly floated up. When the old man saw this, he was so scared that he almost lost his wits. He turned around and tried to flee from this place. Leo didn't dare to stay either. Only by killing him could he bury this matter. Leo completely ignored his threats. He chased after him on a mountain bike. Fortunately, there were quite a lot of deer here, and at this moment an accident happened. Jasper's phone fell into the car. When he bent down to pick it up, now there was no need to cover it up. It was completely a case of out-of-control driving. Leo stood on the cliff and watched for a long time. After confirming that Jasper was already dead, he swaggered back home. But when he got home, his wife had already been waiting there for a long time. Aria didn't ask any questions, instead she left a sentence so Tony after saying that she turned around and walked upstairs. Leo also knew that the matter had been exposed, but what he didn't expect was that Aria actually burned Jasper's documents. This ending, did it surprise everyone? Did he have a change of heart, or were these two people always a couple of butchers? Then, who will be the next victim?